And that's exactly what Tampa needed here. He fumbles it.
Cooper Kupp wasn't supposed to make it. In fact, recruiting sites gave him a 2-star rating, barely acknowledging his talent.
But from the moment this postseason started, there was just a belief. Every game, it was written already. It was written already, and I just got to play free, knowing that I got to play from victory, not for victory. I got to play in a place where I was validated, not from anything that happened on the field, but because of my worth in God and my Father.
2 stars, when players with 5 stars were getting all the attention. It's almost impossible to believe now, right? A guy who would go on to break records, win a Super Bowl, and dominate the NFL.
Going for it all, he's got a wide open man. It's Cooper Kupp who gets free, and Kupp rolls all the way to the end zone.
Yet he was barely considered worthy of a scholarship. Oh my God, how did this happen? How could a player with such potential be overlooked so easily? So, how did this 2-star recruit turn into one of the NFL's biggest stars? The underdog that nobody saw coming. Kupp wasn't just any player. He came from a football family that was entrenched in the sport. His father, Craig Kupp, was a former NFL quarterback, and his grandfather, Jake Kupp, was a longtime offensive lineman in the league. Football was in his blood. His legacy was set, and yet college recruiters overlooked him. What the fuck? How could a player with such NFL bloodlines, who was putting up record-breaking numbers in high school, be ignored by major college programs?
5 receivers spread wide. Kupp has some space and then double coverage. He does it again over the top.
Let's break it down. Kupp wasn't just another good high school player. He was a dominant force. He set Washington State high school records with over 1,000 receiving yards and 22 touchdowns in his senior season, leading his team to a state title. His stats were out of this world. Yet, despite his performance, Kupp didn't receive a single FBS scholarship offer from big schools. Imagine this. A player breaking records at the high school level with NFL bloodlines, and yet no offers. Oh my God, how is that even possible? What was missing? The answer? Not much. Kupp had everything needed to be a future star. He had the vision, the hands, the work ethic, and an exceptional football IQ that allowed him to read defenses like few others. But what he didn't have was the fame and exposure that other recruits with 5-star ratings did. College scouts just didn't see the potential in him, not the way they saw it in others. With no offers from big schools, Kupp faced a pivotal decision: give up on his football dreams or take a huge risk and prove everyone wrong. He chose the latter. He bet on himself and committed to a school that most people outside the football world had never even heard of: Eastern Washington, an FCS program. This was a bold decision. Eastern Washington wasn't a powerhouse like Washington State or the big-name schools Kupp had hoped for. But Kupp saw this as his best chance to shine. He could have walked away, accepted that his dream of playing big-time college football might be over, but instead, he took the risk. And this is where his journey really began. At Eastern Washington, Cooper Kupp didn't need national recognition to make his presence known. He obliterated records that most players could only dream of. Over his career, Kupp amassed a jaw-dropping 6,464 receiving yards, setting an all-time NCAA record. He scored 73 touchdowns, an FCS record, and recorded 428 receptions, averaging an incredible 124 yards per game. But it gets crazier. Kupp played 31 games with over 100 receiving yards, consistently dominating defenses. Kupp wasn't just another good receiver, he was an unstoppable force. And yet, despite these mind-blowing numbers, he was still overlooked by many top programs. What made him so different? The key wasn't just his hands or his route running. Kupp's football IQ was insane. He could read defenses with precision, making plays that most players wouldn't even recognize. By the time the Los Angeles Rams came calling, football experts had already seen his potential. But why did it take so long for scouts to realize Kupp's true value? How could a player with these records slip through the cracks? The answers lie in a story that gets even more unbelievable as it unfolds. Draft Day, the third-round surprise. And then came Draft Day. The NFL world was buzzing, but Cooper Kupp? He was still treated like an afterthought. Despite his record-breaking college career, Kupp was selected in the third round, 69th overall, by the Los Angeles Rams.
The Los Angeles Rams select Cooper Kupp, receiver, Eastern Washington.
Yes, you heard that right. The guy who rewrote NCAA records and defied all odds was still picked in the third round. What the fuck? How could a player with his accomplishments, talent, and potential be taken so low? It didn't make sense. But then, Sean McVay, the Rams head coach, saw something others didn't. McVay knew exactly what he was getting with Kupp. He called him one of the most polished, well-prepared college receivers he'd ever seen. While the league doubted Kupp's potential, McVay was certain this wasn't just a third-round pick. This was a player on the verge of greatness. And the rest? It's history. Kupp didn't just step up. He shattered expectations. What was it about Kupp that made McVay so confident? How did a player who was barely a blip on the radar for most teams come to dominate the NFL stage? Keep watching. This story is just getting started. Kupp's explosive rise from rookie to superstar. It all began with his rookie year. Kupp's rookie year was solid, with 869 yards and 5 touchdowns, showing flashes of the brilliance to come. But it wasn't until the next few seasons that Kupp truly began to prove he was destined for greatness. However, 2018 brought an unexpected twist. Kupp tore his ACL, abruptly ending his season. That's crazy. Just as his career was gaining momentum, everything came to a screeching halt. And yet, instead of letting the injury define him, Kupp did something unbelievable. He used it as fuel. In 2019, Kupp came back stronger than ever, playing all 16 games and posting 94 catches, 1,161 yards, and 10 touchdowns. That's right, he didn't just bounce back. He bounced back with a vengeance, proving he was ready to take over the league. But here's the real question. How did Kupp push through such a devastating injury and come back even stronger? Was it his work ethic? His mindset? What made him so mentally tough, so unbreakable? The answer? It's all part of the remarkable journey that still hasn't hit its peak. Stay tuned, there's more to come. 2020-2021, Kupp takes over the NFL. Then came 2020, the year that set the stage for Kupp's ultimate breakout. With the Rams still finding their rhythm, Kupp posted 92 catches, 974 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Solid numbers, but they didn't fully capture the gravity of his potential. The 2020 season showed Kupp was no longer just a promising receiver. He was beginning to evolve into something more. But then, 2021 arrived, and it was nothing short of legendary. With Matthew Stafford under center, Kupp transformed into the most dominant wide receiver in the NFL. By week 3, he already had 431 yards and 5 touchdowns. Oh my God! The numbers were staggering, but the best was yet to come. Kupp finished the 2021 season with 145 catches, 1,947 yards, and 16 touchdowns, becoming the first player ever to lead the league in receptions, yards, and touchdowns in a single season. Let that sink in. A third-round pick, overlooked by major colleges, was now rewriting history in the NFL. His performance wasn't just top tier, it was historic. Kupp wasn't just the best wide receiver in the league, he was an unstoppable force. What changed? Was it just the connection with Stafford, or did Kupp unlock a new level in his game? Stay tuned, because the best may still be ahead. Super Bowl 56, Kupp's moment of glory. But the best part? Super Bowl 56. Kupp played the role of hero when the Rams needed him most, catching 2 touchdowns, including the game-winning 8-yard reception with less than 2 minutes left. A play that sealed the Rams' 23-20 victory over the Bengals. It was a moment that would go down in NFL history, and Kupp's performance was nothing short of legendary. In the biggest game of the year, with the pressure mounting, Kupp not only rose to the occasion, he thrived. That wasn't just talent at work. That was clutch on a level we rarely see. With his cool under pressure and unstoppable playmaking ability, Kupp proved that he was no longer the underdog. He was now a superstar. How many players can say they were the game winner in the Super Bowl? And to top it off, Kupp was named Super Bowl MVP, the first wide receiver to do so in nearly 2 decades. But the question remains, did the Rams make the right call selecting Kupp in the 3rd round? Absolutely. They got a future Hall of Famer and a Super Bowl MVP who proved the doubters wrong. The Kupp family behind the scenes. Kupp's success didn't happen in a vacuum. Behind every champion is a great support system, and for Kupp, that unwavering support came from his family, particularly his high school sweetheart, Anna. Anna wasn't just a cheerleader on the sidelines. She played a pivotal role in his journey, supporting him financially during college when times were tough. This allowed Kupp to focus solely on football, even when he was putting in the work at Eastern Washington with little to no national recognition. Imagine that kind of commitment. When most athletes were worrying about bills, Kupp could focus on becoming the best receiver on the field. That foundation was critical for his rise. That's crazy! To think someone with such humble beginnings is now dominating at the highest level of football. Fast forward to today, and with 3 kids and a growing legacy, Kupp's drive is fueled by his family, a desire to prove doubters wrong, and his constant push for greater success. The world has watched as he evolved into one of the NFL's greatest receivers, but his journey is far from over. Will he continue to break records? Or is there another, even more jaw-dropping chapter ahead? One thing's for sure, Kupp's unstoppable drive is only getting started, and the best may be yet to come. Keep watching.